Thanks, Riaz. At 6:30. Good morning. After 22 months of speculation and rumor, it has come to an end. Vancouver Canucks have moved Roberto Luongo. Luongo has been traded back to the Florida Panthers. He played for 5 years in the Sunshine State before coming to the Canucks at the start of the 2006-2007 season. In return, Vancouver gets goaltending prospect Jakob Markstrom and center Sean Matthias. Luongo was preparing to start in Phoenix when he heard the news, something he says he was not expecting.
Stunned, I think. I was not expecting it. Go figure, right? So, yeah, I mean, I'm really don't have many words right now. It's caught me off guard.
In terms of Markstrom, we get a young goalie who's fully developed, who's played in the American Hockey League. He was just named the Player of the Month in the American Hockey League. And in Sean Matthias, we get a young forward who can score goals and is a big body.
Luongo's former teammates were just as surprised when the news came down and spoke with the media after last night's game.
I was getting ready to nap a little bit before the game. Rolly called me and told me I'm playing, so it's been a very weird day.
They're going to have to start trading a lot of guys. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Sedins go next. Not that I don't like the Sedins, but I think they're giving away everything they have right now and hoping for some kind of future.
It still seems kind of like unfair to Luongo. He finally gets the fans' trust back, and now he's gone.
The Canucks reportedly agreed to pay 15% of Luongo's contract in order to make the trade happen. In non-hockey related news this morning, public school teachers across BC continue to cast their ballots on taking strike action. The result of the secret ballot will be made public at about 9:30 tomorrow night. The BC Teachers Federation wants to exert more pressure at the bargaining table for a fair deal for teachers that includes better support for students. If a strike vote is passed, teachers will have 90 days to take job action. School districts are still hoping for a negotiated agreement.
It does create another level of uncertainty in an already stressful school year. We all have processes in place and procedures in the event that there is a notice of a strike.
The BC Speaker of the House usually avoids the scrutiny other politicians face, but not in this case. Linda Reid is under fire for racking up more than $100,000 in expenses. They include $48,000 for a new touchscreen computer on the Speaker's desk and about $20,000 for new drapes and $700 for a new rack that holds muffins and other snacks. The Liberal MLA for Richmond East was named Speaker of the Legislature last July. Still in Victoria, Labour leaders are meeting with the Premier today and making some requests. They want the province to raise the minimum wage to $13. It was hiked to $10.25 2 years ago. The Labour movement also wants British Columbians offered jobs currently occupied by temporary foreign workers.
You can't live on $10.25 an hour. The minimum wage should be at the poverty level, which is $13 an hour, and it should go up after that each year, according to Labour, business and government discussions. So we want a pay increase for the poorest people in the province, because frankly we have the highest poverty rates in Canada, and that should be unacceptable.
A man is in hospital this morning with serious burns after a garage fire in East Vancouver. It happened just after 9 o'clock last night in the 600 block of East 57th Avenue. Firefighters managed to put the blaze out quickly, but not before it caused extensive damage to the garage. According to neighbors, the man injured lived in the garage while the rest of the family lived inside the home. What caused the fire is under investigation. International news now. The United States is holding talks with Russia as Western nations step up efforts to avert a war in Ukraine. Moscow is being urged to pull back its forces in Crimea, where yesterday Russian soldiers fired warning shots outside a military base. Meanwhile, the European Union announced a $15 billion aid package to support Ukraine. Today, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and the Russian foreign minister will meet face-to-face for the first time since the crisis escalated after a conference in Paris attended by all 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council. A U.S. political superstar will address a Vancouver audience tonight. Former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton will speak at a Vancouver Board of Trade event at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre. Clinton is an expected frontrunner for the Democratic nomination for the next U.S. presidential election, but in the meantime, she's one of the most sought-after speakers on the planet. Toronto Mayor Rob Ford is back home from Los Angeles after appearing on Monday's Jimmy Kimmel Live. Ford says he thought he did a good job of promoting Toronto during Monday night's broadcast and says the interview with Kimmel was a walk in the park compared to dealing with the media in his city.
Was it a tough interview? Sure it was, but he has a job to do. Like, that's his job. I haven't seen one of his shows that he doesn't take shots at people. I knew I was going into a lion's den, and, you know, I held my own, and I got my message out that I've saved taxpayers money, that you know, all my achievements. I wish I had more time to promote Toronto.